Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock. Happy Thursday morning to you guys. So guys, I want to chat with you a little bit about a topic that is very controversial. And a lot of people are going through it, especially now with everything that's going on in our crazy world with racism and, coronavirus and quarantine and all this other stuff. It's so much, it's so heavy, job loss, all that stuff. So I want to speak to you all about disparity and hopelessness and depression. And when I say depression, I'm speaking more from a spiritual sense, because I do know there are other areas of depression where some individuals need to be medicated. So I'm not speaking with that term. I'm in healthcare, but mental health is not my specialty. So I just want to be clear. I'm only speaking on experiences, things that I've encountered with individuals. All right, guys. So as you guys know, I'm always very authentic and transparent with you guys. And I will be honest enough to tell you, I truly, for a long time in my own ignorance, did not believe in depression. Again, in my own ignorance, I take full accountability for that, right? I always felt like, okay, listen, depression is more or less about, this dark place, this dark time, hopelessness. But I felt like, okay, but that's life. Life is a series of ups and downs. Seasons changes. Like, you're going to have that dry season. You're going to have that dark season. You're going to have a season of abundance. You're going to have seasons changes. So you have to be fluid to realize, like, okay, I might hit a certain season tomorrow, but it's not forever, right? That was my own thinking, my own experience. So I remember asking God maybe about, I think it was 2015, I believe. So about 5 years ago. And I was driving and I was having a difficult time because I had some employees who were dealing with depression. And I had a family member who was dealing with depression. And I just couldn't understand it because I was trying so hard to help them take that first step. And I did, and then it seemed as if they were having progress, but then they would sink back into the sunken place. So I couldn't understand it. So I said, God, please help me, because I don't want to be, trying to push someone too hard, and I just this is more than just a dark season. This is just more than, a moment of disparity. And I asked for God to help me to understand. And guess what he did? Guess what he allowed, I should say. Your girl went through a quick season of depression. It wasn't even a season. Let me change that. It was a moment. It was a moment, right? And I always tell people, be careful what you ask God for, especially if you're very spiritually connected. Because when you ask God for it, we assume he would just hand it to you. Or like I've asked for patience 6 years ago, and I'm still being tested because I keep failing my test 6 years later with patience. I'm getting better, but I just thought God would hand it to me. So when I asked him to help me to understand depression more, or just even some level of depression where I can truly be able to pray directly with or for the individual, or I just needed to know how to see this thing. And then he allowed me to experience a bout of it. But then what I'm recently learning is that depression is such a very, very broad topic. So I only got, I'm sure, just a taste of what depression could feel like. So during that year when I asked for understanding, like, I literally started to take back-to-back hits. Like, so many of my patients in my business were just passing away. When I say, like, month to month, I had one of my patients who I was extremely close to. She literally died in my hands. Literally unexpected. Well, expected, but unexpected at that very moment. And even though I'm in healthcare, death is very, very hard, extremely hard for me. That's enough to throw me in depression alone, or I'm sorry, a place of disparity alone by itself, especially when it's someone who I, have a great deal of love and respect for. Then right after that, I lost an uncle who I was extremely close to. So, and of course, by me losing my patients back to back, that means that I had to start laying off certain employees who were now being affected. And it was just a lot. It was a lot. And I remember as time went on, and it only went on for maybe about 3-4 months, but I remember I got to a place where I was just laying in my bed, and I didn't want to do anything. I was just hopeless. I didn't want to be bothered. I was just in this mindset of I wanted to disconnect from the world. Don't get me wrong. I never, ever, ever contemplated suicide. However, that moment really, really allowed me to understand how someone could choose that way out, especially if they don't have family, especially if they don't have anything in their mind to live for, right? Let's just say someone who may have been abandoned from their family, and I'm just making an example. Someone who could have been abandoned from their family because maybe they came out as gay and the family abandoned them, or individual who was adopted in the system and never ever had family that they knew of, and once they turned 17, 18, what is it? Oh my God, what is it called? The foster home just kicked them out. Well, a person like that, if they're going through depression, it's kind of like, okay, well, if I just take my own life, I don't have anybody who's going to grieve. I don't have anybody who's looking up to me. I don't have anybody who's going to care. So that moment allowed me to understand how somebody could contemplate that route. Let me be clear. I never did, and I'm encouraging anyone right now. If that is your thought, please know that you are loved. If no one in your family have ever accepted you, God love you. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. There is purpose here on earth for you. So it's extremely important for you to tap into that purpose, because your purpose will fill you up. It will fulfill you. And then that love from God and the fact that you're now walking into your purpose and your calling, that alone will help you to understand that you are needed. You are valued here on earth. You have to know that. So if you're in that dark place right now, if you're lying in that room, in that bed, and you're not answering your phone, and you don't even know how to reach out to anyone, and you're just sitting there and just, listen, guys, I'm telling you, it is a trick of the enemy. He's going to make you think that anybody you reach out to, you're going to be bothering them. He's going to even have it to the point where if you finally get that motivation to reach out to one person, he will allow that one person to shut you down or reject you. And then you're going to go back into this place of like, okay, no one cares. No one wants to help me. No, it's not true. Please keep reaching out for help. If you don't have anyone else to reach out to, start looking on the website. Obviously, you have access to website if you're listening to me right now. Start researching in your area. The suicide hotlines, all that good stuff. Please know that it is important for you to reach out for help. No, everyone will not help you. Right? Because sometimes people don't really realize how serious something is until, something happens to an individual. Then it's more so less of like, oh my God, I wish I had paid more attention. That's why for some of us, especially, if you're really connected spiritually, sometimes it's important to quiet the noise. And I say that coming from a person who's always in noise some kind of way or another. There's times where the spirit will alarm me, hey, shut everything down, shut the phone down, shut the internet down, shut whatever down, because I need you to be alerted to a situation, right? So mind you, most times people who are dealing with depression, they won't reach out to you. You could be around these people on a daily basis and they may not even ask for help because, again, they don't want to bother anyone. But if you're spiritually connected, you should be able to see through the disparity of a person, right? Like God will start to give you those signs and let you know that, hey, this is heavy. This is heavy. This is not, for a perfect example, I had a meeting with a lawyer. This was back in January. I had a meeting with a lawyer, right? So because of the coronavirus, he had closed the office down. So we agreed, to meet at a mutual place. Well, this particular lawyer had several malpractice lawsuits that came up against him. I won't get into what, but it's involved healthcare. Let me just say that. So when he knocked on the door, when I opened the door, he was like, "Hey, Kizzy, how are you?" And he had this big smile on his face, right? So to the average individual who's not connected or discerning, they would have just seen it as, okay, he has a big smile, he's happy. But the entire time that he was talking with me, and we're going through this and just talking, my spirit was very, very discerning. And so at the end of the meeting, right, I looked at him and I said, I was about to call his name, I'm sorry. I looked at him and I said, "Listen, I thank you for this meeting, but nothing that we spoke about in regards to the legal issues I contacted you about, or the information I would say that I contacted you about, none of that stuff has penetrated. If you notice, I didn't even take any notes." And he said, "I realized that. You didn't write anything down." I said, "Because I realized it's not even about the information that I needed from you." I said, "This is a whole different level." I said, "Obviously you're going through some things, right?" I said, I know about, because it's everything was open book. I was like, I know about the lawsuits. I know about, this, we're in the middle of a coronavirus. Like, it's heavy. I said, "But when you leave out of this house, do not go and commit suicide." And he just started crying. He started bawling, right? And he just kept looking at me. I said, "Listen, you don't have to say anything to me. You don't have to say anything to me about what you were thinking, about what plans you had. I'm just telling you, when you leave out of this house, do not go and commit suicide, because it's going to be the biggest mistake you ever made. Because this right here, what you're going through, this is going to pass over. I can't tell you when or how long, but it will pass over. Also realize that, okay, you're right now in the fight for your license, right? But you got other people who's also losing business. No, it's not about malpractice, but it's about coronavirus. They're shutting their restaurants down there. So understand, it's just not you. We're all going through something." And he just kept crying. I mean, just sobbing. And, eventually we shared a few words and then he left. And I actually spoke to him yesterday, and he's doing extremely well. Some of those lawsuits were dismissed. Like, his business is back thriving. Like, it's crazy. And he just sent me an email, and he was like, "Listen." And I was like, "Listen, it's not me. It's not me." So to my spiritual people, this is why it's important for you to be so connected spiritually. This is why it's important to be obedient. Because what happens is life gets so busy that we will end up forgetting to do something that God told us to do. There's times I can be in the middle of, a jungle of busyness. And if I hear an alert from God, when I tell you, I don't care what I'm doing, I walk off and I handle that immediately. Because you don't know how your obedience is connected to someone else's life. That person they might just get let's just say something as petty as a bill, right? But that bill that they're now threatening them, okay, if I don't have this money, if I don't have your rent by tomorrow, you're going to be evicted. Well, guess what? That eviction is now the icing on the cake to 30,000 other things that has added to that depression, right? And now you lingered on what God told you to do. Listen, go pray for this person, give this person some money, go bless this person, whatever. But you lingered on whatever it was that God told you to do. You didn't remain obedient. And now what happens? So you have to be very, very careful with obedience. Very careful. But again, to anyone, if you're going through depression, please reach out to someone. Ask for help. Even if you don't want to ask for help, get yourself around some positive people. Even if you don't want to ask for help, call someone who you know that is a very positive person and an uplifting person, right? Because energy transfers, so they can be able to instill that energy and just kind of give you that boost you need for the day that kind of just gets you back, to some positive energy. Get out of that room, get out of that bed, get out of that sunken place, because as long as you stay in that dark little space, Satan is going to continue to get into your ear and tells you it will not get better, it will not get better. Well, I'm telling you right now, it will get better. It will get better. You have to keep your eye on your future. Like, you can't even focus on the right now. You can't even focus on that right now is what's going to keep you down. You have to keep thinking about that goal that you set 5 years ago. Whatever goal that was. Keep seeing past now and look towards the future. That's what's going to start giving you that energy to just take that next step. Focus on your goals. If you're dealing with heartbreak, right? Now, I'm not one, personally, to get knocked into depression because of heartbreak. Yes, I'm hurt, but listen. Because I know what I brought to the table. So if you messed up, that's on you. But if you're someone who deals with depression because of heartbreak, please trust and believe that what is for you will be for you. If that individual is for you, God will bring that person back to you. I understand relationship goes through its ups and downs. Okay. Now, if that person isn't for you, and I know that's hard to hear if you're someone who's longing to have your loved one back. If that person isn't for you, then there's a possibility that God has been giving you signs to leave or move that person out of the way because he wants to send you better. Okay. You didn't do it because maybe your heart was so connected, maybe you were comfortable, you had a soul tie, whatever. So God allowed that person to leave you or hurt you so bad that you had to leave. Then trust and believe someone else is coming your way. And that person who is coming to you will be better than the person who left you. You're lonely right now because God is healing you. He needs to heal you first. So when he sends that new person, you don't take that stuff into the new relationship or the new marriage. So you're just in a season of healing. You got to see past that. Don't just keep focusing on that hurt, because that's what's going to keep you in that dark place right now. Yes, cry, kick, scream, do whatever you got to do. Nothing wrong with that. You're in a season of grieving right now. But keep looking at either that person will come back if it's from God, or God is starting you in your healing process, and he is then going to send you better once he know you are fully healed. And that new person will be 10 times as better as the old. Trust me when I tell you this. Trust me when I tell you this. Way better than what you had. What else? Let me just think. And another thing that Satan does, because he is so evil, while you're going through a time of depression, he will put people right into your path, friends and family, who are really going through a season of abundance and everything is working out for them. They got that new job. They just graduated from college. He will put all that stuff right in your path so you can just see it. You're in a dark place, but he's showing you everybody's life is, listen, those same people who are in that season of abundance, they once had a season of lack. They had a season of a dry season. They had that, and they may have had that when you had your season of abundance. Seasons changes. So please don't think where you are now is where you're going to be for the rest of your life. No. There's so much more coming to you. You are not the only one going through. We all are going through something right now. Different something, same pain. Whatever you do, do not stay here. Whatever you do, do not take your life. You are loved. You are needed. Life is like a puzzle. We all have a part to play. What is your part? What is your part? You didn't come here by accident. What is your part? Your part is what's going to give you just that warm and fuzzy feeling when you start helping other people and whatever your part is. So guys, don't give up. Know that you are loved. If no one else have told you today that they love you, or recently, I'm telling you I love you. But most importantly, God loves you best. So you guys stay strong. Don't give up. Keep fighting. You are a warrior. This is only a moment. The best is yet to come. So you guys have a great one. And I hope this can just touch at least one person. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.